Sometimes I am someone's villain. Sometimes I am someone's bad guy. There are people who have been my villain and my bad guy. And when I look back, I can see how them doing that thing, saying that thing, thinking that thing served me. It was an invitation for me to consider, what do I actually believe to be true? What do I actually want out of this? A villain is often, let's say, this is a match, all right? Like an old matchstick, right? Here it is. The potential for power in this to create warmth or burn down a building, it's all here. But it is impotent. Potential without agitation, disruption, a pushing off, is impotent. When you get the honor of being someone's villain, you show them themselves. You also get to see yourself. We want to avoid being someone's villain, but we will jump to the chance to be someone's helper. What if you are looking at the villain position in a way where you find it disruptive, like the burning of the house, and there is a choice for the other person and for you to see it as a point of power to create warmth. Okay, let me give you an example of a villain. I'll just take a villain we all know. Okay, a villain from the Bible, Judas. Oh, Judas, the worst betrayer of Christ, the worst. All right. So just get it all out. So those of you who don't know the Bible story, Judas, it was prophesied. Jesus said, one of you will betray me. One of you will betray me. Jesus also said, the Son of Man must die. Jesus said, it is better for you that I go. Jesus said, on purpose, one of you gets to be the villain, because if you are not this catalyst, then everything else I showed up for, everything else I mean to give you, everything else that is the reason I showed up in flesh, it won't happen. It can't be unless this betrayal happens. What you can't see when you are protecting yourself from being the villain is that everything else that needs to happen, could serve you and the others, won't happen as long as you are self-protecting and self-promoting. Not me, I'm the good one. And then recruiting other people to be on your side. It's right, she's the good one. Parents try and rescue their children so they're seen as the good parent. Sometimes what you do is you handcuff your children because what you say in the rescuing is they are not capable. They cannot figure it out. Some of you never even let them learn how to ask you for help or consider what kind of help is actually needed, because what we want is out. But jerking somebody out deprives them of learning how to trust themselves. When I get to be the villain and I model what it looks like to be sturdy in myself, I said what I said. I model what it looks like to have my own back. Yeah, it's causing a disruption in my family, and I can see where facets of the family are banding together because I'm the one that's wrong. When I don't have to self-protect and self-promote and recruit them to my side, then what? Because everything's gonna come out in the end. When someone needs to keep recruiting people to their side, it's because they know there's something in them that's a little off, but they are so filled with fear that they have to puff up because they're the good guy. Honey, none of us are actually the good guy or the bad guy. We're just the guys. My mother and my beloved had a conversation about one of her, my first stepfather. He was sexually inappropriate with me. My beloved, I wasn't privy to this conversation. I found out years and years later. And my mother, because she feels self-protective, didn't like the way he talked to her about it. Okay. So what she did was separate herself from me because of her idea that he had no right to talk to her about that. She separated herself from me and made him the bad guy. At first, I wanted her to be the villain. Next, I wondered, was he the villain? Ultimately, here's what I got to understand. That's their business. And if she's going to separate herself from me because she doesn't like what he has to say, I don't need to defend him and I don't need to defend her. I get to stand in what I know is true. I have forgiven all of that. I am different because of the situation that happened with my stepfather. And I'm actually better because of the situation where I wanted to label my mother the villain and say she abandoned me. How does it make me better? Because I got to learn to decide that whether my mother wanted to be with me or not be with me didn't have anything to do with me. It was her stewing in her fear. And I will tell you this, it is not my job to heal her fear. It is not my job to heal anyone, not even me. My place is to know who I am. I am the beloved. I am the friend of God. I was created for a purpose. I am handmade for good and purposeful things. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work unless I agree with it. I don't agree with my mother that there's a problem, that my husband has thoughts about the situation. I don't. I don't agree that I am the one who needs to heal my mother and all of this relationship, that it's all on me. I don't agree. Here's what I agree with. I love them both. And I, in fact, have love for my first stepfather. Because here's what I know is true. People don't do that in a vacuum. It changed me in a way that serves me. Do you know how I know that? Because I decided it. Because I decided. The situation with my mother, it changes me for the better. You know how I know? Because I decided it. It wasn't the thing that made her an awful mother or me an awful daughter. You being someone's villain, you have no idea of what will and can be gained from that situation when all you are doing is protecting yourself or promoting yourself or bowing down to what they want you to do so they can think well of you. Fear is an awful master. When you know who you are and whose you are, and you have decided that if someone else needs to call me the bad guy or the villain, there's gonna come a point, if you could zoom out so far that you could just see it was another great day in the universe, you would understand that it is generous of you to give them something to push off of. Generous. Generous of you to learn to stand in yourself. Not like, screw you because you're wrong. No. Open-hearted. I love you. And I'm not separating myself from you because you are separating yourself from me. I'm going to stand here in love, surrounded by love, created of love, created from love, created to love. And I'm going to let you decide how you think about me because I already know what is true about me. Notice how much you don't want to be the one they talk about. Notice how every single one of God's people was the underdog, was the one they talked about. And also notice sometimes the thing where other people talk about you and you don't defend yourself gets you in a place where you never could have gotten by yourself. It positions you in a different place where promoting yourself never would have gotten you. This is long. I know. I love it. My heart is huge for you. You can be afraid of what other people think about you. But I want you to think about it, and I want you to tell me exactly how it has served you well, this fear of other people. Tell me. Serve you well and served them. I want to know about it. Can you find one? I cannot. I love you so much.